What's going on, guys? Aaron from Top Tier Gaming here, and today I am coming at you with a very special video featuring brand new Traptrix support that got announced yesterday for me, which means it'll be going up tomorrow at like 8:30 a.m. at my time. So this will be tomorrow, so they've been revealed for 2 days, right? Now, that being said, I did want to go over them and sort of rank them for fun. I do kind of want to rank them on like almost a tier list type thing to give my thoughts on the cards. But I also want to talk about future implications they have, along with maybe other support we are going to be getting besides these. I do not think that these 4 cards that got released are the only cards we're getting, and I have some reason to back that up. I'm not just coping. But yeah, for those who don't know, I'm a pretty big Traptrix player. Traptrix was my first deck coming back into the game. I played it for almost 3 months straight at locals. I've been playing Traptrix a very long time, and I absolutely love the archetype, so I'm super excited to see them getting support. Before we hop into this, I do want to let you guys know, if you do enjoy this video content, you like what you see here, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out and what I do here on the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the Traptrix support. So we're going to start with the first card of the new support, and by now I assume most of you have seen this, but if you haven't, I am going to go over what they do very quickly. First, we're going to bring up the art. This art, ranking it on the tier list, S tier art, this is an 11 out of 10. This art is pretty phenomenal. I really like the art there. So yeah, we have Pinguicula, that's a name. Japan gets citrus, and we of course get this nonsense. So going into her stats, 2500 attack, 300 defense. She's the reverse of Rafflesia. 2 level 4 monsters, generic. She's a plant. She's earth. That's some of her regular stats. Her effects, she's unaffected by trap effects like most Traptrix monsters, like from the extra deck, but she's also unaffected by the activated effects from any monster with the same type as she has material, which can be big because of one of her other effects. Arguably the main effect of the proactive effect she has is you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. That's a huge effect. And then she actually has an interruption, which is what I think makes her really good and worth going for in a lot of situations. This can also sort of be an interruption for one of their new cards. But this effect is pretty nice. So if a monster that's owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, you can attach one of them to this card as material. Now this card is mostly an interruption on your opponent's turn, where they're going to be Chain Link 1 most of the time. On your own turn, it gets a little weird because she's going to end up being Chain Link 1, which means it's not going to matter as much. But for example, let's say it's your opponent's turn and they activate, I guess, Branded in red, and they make, whatever fusion they want to, say Masquerade, and they banished Adlib and Mirror Jade, or something along these lines, right? And they can Adlib target Mirror Jade, Chainlink 1, and then Chainlink 2, this can actually attach their Mirror Jade to her as material, which is huge. Or a more relevant example would be with tier elements. Say they Shiren effect. Off their Shiren effect, they mill Merely, they activate Merely, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, you take it with this, right? And they don't get their Merely summon. So that is a pretty good interruption. Of course, there's a lot of situations where you'll be able to use this, but those are the most relevant. So she's an interrupt that searches Traptrix monsters, and I'm super down for that. This card is amazing. I'm going to rate this card like a 7 or 8 out of 10. We will definitely run at least one in the extra deck, in my opinion. She definitely could have been a little bit better, though. Traptrix need a lot of cards, so you have to rate them a little more strict, in my opinion. I'm definitely excited to play one again. I think her art is phenomenal. One thing I'm going to bring up with these, and why I'm sort of hinting at why I really think we have at least 2 more Traptrix cards besides this, maybe even a third just in the structure deck, is so this card is JPP001. I want to keep that in mind going forward. So then we have Traptrix Arachnocampa, and they get Kino, so of course we get, this long name. Gotta love it. She's a level 4 Earth Insect with 1300 attack and 1500 defense. All Traptrix monsters, main deck monsters, their attack and defense together always equal 2800. I still am wondering if they're gonna do something with that, or if it's just some sort of maybe 8 for spider legs. I'm not quite sure. I don't really understand why they all have that stat line, but they do. And this card to me is the best card they got, and I'm just gonna go over it. During the main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you're essentially locked from your extra deck except for insect and plant monsters. This is really the effect that gets me. We've always wanted a real Traptrix extender. I'm sorry, Vesiculo, you're just not a real extender. like I want you to be, but we get no benefits from sending our own trap cards. We needed a trap card or a trap hole that gets benefit from being sent to the graveyard by cost for Vesiculo, because I almost never use that effect unless I actually have to. But yeah, so this is a real Traptrix extender. What I love about this is this deck, all Traptrix players know. The scariest thing for you going on your first turn, it's not like Imperm, it's not Valor, it's not Ash, none of those really do anything. Ogre and Gamma are life enders. Like summon Remelio, get Ogred, you get a trap hole. But that's essentially all you get is that trap hole, because Ogre is just going to absolutely destroy you. Because you lose your monster, you can't make Sarah. Same thing with Gamma, right? But Gamma was even worse because you don't even get the trap hole. This is huge because say you summon your normal summon monster and it gets Ogred or Gamma'd, you can chain Arachnocampa to that monster or to that effect, special summon her. Even if your monster got Ogred or Gamma'd, you still have a monster to make Traptrix Sarah with. So this card is beyond huge just for that. Like, and like going second, your normal summon was also a weak point. Like if you got just popped on your normal summon by like, I don't know, an Evil Twin Lilla, you were just toast as well. So this also lets you play past your normal summon a little bit. This card is phenomenal, bare minimum just for that effect. Of course, she's unaffected by effects of whole normal traps like every Traptrix monster. Then her third effect is the first time each set card in your spell and trap card zone would be destroyed by card effect each turn. It is not destroyed. This effect is also huge, again boosting her to what I think is the best card in the structure deck so far. Also, I forgot to rate her art. I'm gonna give this art like a 7 out of 10, maybe 7 or 8. I think I really like the colors, sort of like the dew effect here. Yeah, of course the Traptrix art are always great, but we're gonna rate this one like a 7. Yeah, so this effect, getting back to this effect, this is amazing because obviously it gives the deck an out to Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, MST, Twin Twister, things like Sword Soul Blackout, Guardian Chimera. Cards like those are now extremely hindered by this card. It's an in-engine Lord of the Heavenly Prison. What I really like about this card is like with her, she's searchable, so that gives you just any out to Lightning Storm instantly. But also if you just like draw this naturally, it's a quick effect, right? So say your opponent goes main phase, they see your back row is free to pop. Like if you end with this on your first turn board, they're not going to Lightning Storm, right? They're going to be able to hold the Lightning Storm for a later turn. But they can go Lightning Storm, and you can just chain this card to Lightning Storm, and because she's a continuous effect, she'll come out as Chain Link 2. She doesn't need to activate to protect, so Lightning Storm will resolve, but you're able to apply this effect, and your cards will be safe. So this card, absolutely phenomenal for the deck. Currently, in my opinion, I see it as a 2 or 3 of. I think ratios are going to change a lot past this structure deck, and especially once we get the other cards potentially I think we're getting. So yeah, I think this card I'm going to rate a 9 or a 10. Like, this card's insane. Also, again, looking at the numbers, we have JP002. So we have JPP and we have JP. And if you see up here, it says they come with a Banquet Invitation Pack. I don't know if this implies that for Japan, these came in the extra pack, and these are part of the actual structure deck. That's what I'm thinking. So that's my current thought process. So we have a JPP01, a JP002, which means we do not have a JP001, which means there should be a card in that slot we don't know yet. And that's why I'm sort of thinking we're going to get 2 additional cards in the structure deck. If I'm just wrong, you know, let me know down in the comments below that I'm a ding dong. But yeah. So yeah, we really like this card. Then we have Delusion Trap Hole, the next card. Yeah, this art we're going to rate like a solid 8 out of 10. I like this art. I think it's really good for a Trap Hole card. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the Trap Hole, but, you know, we got Mantis with actual Mantis. We got Nepenthes there. Yeah, you know, I like all of these cards, so I'm really glad to see them with new art. This card is really solid as well, I'm not going to lie. If your opponent special summoned a monster this turn, target one monster they control with 2,000 or more attack, destroy it. Then, if you have a whole normal trap card in your graveyard, you can banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. So, looking at it at the surface, this is finally a 1-for-2, like Ice Dragon's Prison or Dogmatica Punishment, a card that gains more than 1-for-1 value, which trap holes have not done in the past. This is really good, especially because it banishes a monster, which we need DD Crows in the current format we're in. It sort of goes like with good interruption. It destroys, but being able to banish stuff afterwards is pretty nice. Of course, you have to have a whole normal trap in your graveyard, which shouldn't be hard. Gravedigger still looks insane. Floodgate's still going to be relatively good, so you'll have other holes you're trying to use. What I really like about this card is it finally gives us a trap hole that out something like access code. Like, access code was actually a huge problem for trap decks in theory. I mean, we run outs for it, like you could just compulse it away at res, right, or impermit. But this is a trap hole in engine that gives you an out to something like access code, normally just an unoutable beast, right? Because yeah, you don't have to activate this in response to something. Once this condition is met, you can activate it or chain it whenever. So I really like Delusion Trap Hole. I'm gonna rate the card like a 7. It's not like, again, most of these cards aren't circular level cards, which I think the deck kind of needs. But then again, how many mirror matches do I want to play? Do I really want a lot of people to play Traptrix? I don't know, but these aren't circular level cards, so I'm gonna rate this like a 7. I do like the art though, although it's a little, yeah, that's card art. All right, then we're gonna talk about Traptrix Atypus. That's what we're going with. Art, rating an 8 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not bad. So she is a Link 3 for the deck. She's a Link 3 with 1800 attack. JPP002. When I referenced the third possible card we might get, there might be another card, JPP003. I'm not sure if there will be. But if there is, it would be like a third slot here. So let's go over this. 2 monsters, including a plant or insect monster. Very easy to make. Pretty generic, all things considered. Link summon card is unaffected by trap effects. Again, this is very normal for Traptrix monsters. Traptrix monsters you control gain 1000 attack while you have a normal trap in your graveyard. That effect is, in my opinion, the best effect she has. Like, Traptrix monsters are so weak. In engine, they deal no damage. You need other extra deck monsters or cards like Double or Nothing. This makes Traptrix monsters big. This is actually a really scary attack boost. Like, if you play against tier elements when they have their field spell, that 500 attack boost is super relevant and very annoying to deal with in a lot of situations. Especially in simplified game states, we're doubling that on this card. Like, this is a big attack boost. Everything has an Axe of Despair. Yeah, I really like this effect. I think it will be incredibly relevant. It puts her at 28, which is nice. You know, it passes essentially like Drago Stapelia threshold. So yeah. Once per turn, this is like her really good effect. Once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls, up to the number of insect and plant monsters you control, negate their effects until the end of the turn, then you can banish a normal trap from your graveyard, and if you do, destroy one of those targeted face-up cards. That's like a good effect. It will help in engine, like, sort of deal with, you know, cards that are problems. Like, it targets, which stinks, but this deck can't really run access code. It can't really run boss monsters, so this is a Link 3 that can apply pressure on the board. You're at least removing as many targets as something like a Nightmare Unicorn would, right? Except it's every single turn, no discard, you negate. So this card, I think 100% is a run at 1. I think this card is fantastic. I'm going to rate the card itself like a 7. The art was an 8, but yeah, the card itself I'll rate as 7. I think it's a good card, but nothing too crazy either, so... And then we'll notice here there's no JP001 as a reprint. And the next thing I want to bring up is the fact that this trap hole is JP027. We go down to when they start showing the reprint trap holes, and it's JP029, which means we are missing JP028. So there should be one more trap in 1/1 monster guaranteed, if you ask me, not including what might come out in Photon Hypernova or TCG exclusives. We've seen that they're willing to make TCG exclusives for Traptrix because Genlisi was. But yeah, so that's really cool. Any future implications I want to talk about, mostly being what those 2 cards could be. I would like to see a circular-esque monster. Like, this card's great, but give us one more really solid main deck monster. And also a new trap hole. And I really would like something like I'm about to say. I think it might be a little silly, but this is what I've been talking about for years, is give us an in-engine shade Brigandine that has trap hole in its name. That would be disgusting. Like, if you control a Traptrix monster, you can activate this card the turn it's set, summon a level 4 insect, or summon it as a level 4 insect monster, very similar to Brigandine. That would be insane, because, I mean, opening Myrmeleo is essentially opening Myrmeleo Brigandine. Is it too broken? Maybe. It'd be really good, I'm not gonna lie. But, I mean, like, it's Traptrix. I'd like to see them get something great. I absolutely love this archetype. I'm so excited to play with the new cards eventually. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to say there. I also see here, which is something to note, we have a JP039, no JP40, which a structure deck should be like 40 cards, right? But maybe they're just like the other extra deck monsters. I don't know, right? You're supposed to have 40 cards in a structure deck. I mean, let's be real, it's the other reprints we don't have. This one, we should have a JP001 though, so that one's solid, and in between this one and the new trap hole, there should be another new card. In my opinion, I don't know why you would start doing the, put a reprint in there and then these. Yeah, that's just my thought process. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. I obviously rambled way too long about Traptrix, but I absolutely love this deck. Also, box art. We're gonna rate this art a 15 out of 10. I hope our structure deck looks the same. It won't. Yeah, we got Traptrix Forest here. Forest of the Traptrix, whatever they're calling it. Yeah, definitely good. I'm super excited for the Traptrix cards. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe. This has been Aaron from Top Tier Gaming. Bye, YouTube.